Good evening, friends. God bless you. Let me start by saying this that I had a different passage to discuss today. However, about an hour ago, I think God is prompting me to discuss totally different subject tonight. And I believe that God has some special message for somebody. Somebody is waiting for that answer. And by reading today's passage, we will uncover devil's another lie or another trick. Let me read Genesis 13:16. I will make your offsprings like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Now we know the story of Abraham, where he was waiting for the promised son, promised child. And he was waiting and waiting and waiting. And it might be today somebody's same situation that you're waiting on God's promise. You have trusted him. You started following him. You did everything that you think you have done what God has asked you to do. But still, you have not seen the promise fulfilled. And then devil is tempting you to believe that, does really God care for me? Does he really love me? Does he has seen me? Did he see? Can he see me? Did he know my situation? Does he care about my situation? And the simple answer is yes, 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 and yes. God has seen you. God has not forgotten about you. God has not forgot his promise. You are never invisible. Let me start let me start studying this verse a little bit in detail. We know that according to Bible, Terah, Abraham's father, got his son Abraham when Terah was about 70 years old. He was 70 years old and he got son. And now Abraham is about 75 years old and he is married. He has a wife but no children. He has a promise God told him but no children. God told him that Abraham leave this place and go to Canaan. And he set out a journey. Where he is going, he does not know. He just obeyed what God had told him to do. He is 75 years old and he set out to go an unknown territory. And he left the place, his familiar situation, his friends and family and everyone. And he left. And when he left, there was a famine in the land. And then he goes to Egypt. And we know the story. God delivered Sarah from Pharaoh's palace. And they both goes back to their journey again. Now, Abraham is old enough. He is close to 85 years old. And still he is waiting for a child, the promised child. And now Sarah told him to go to Hagar. And at age 86, he got his son Ishmael. And then what happened? After Ishmael was born, now Lot is departing from Abraham. Now, Lot was with Abraham for last 10, 11 years. He is the only family member he has. Now this last family member is also living. And you might be the same situation tonight, that you have left everything, you have followed God, your dreams and your place and your family, and the only last person you knew from your family is also living. And then when Lot left in chapter 13, Genesis 13, God came to Abraham and says that I'll give you children as many as dust. Now, this is so amazing that God told him that I will give you the children, I will give you the offspring like the dust of the earth. Why God is using the example of dust? Why God cannot give any better explanation? He did use some better version in Genesis 26, 4. Let us read what he told Isaac. God told Isaac, I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. Then why God did not told Abraham that I will make your descendants as many as stars in the sky, but he said that I will make your offspring like the dust on the ground. Have you noticed any person who is sorrowful, disappointed, has lost all the hope, has faced the broken promises, has faced the broken relationships, that person cannot lift up the head high. All he is working is head down. And when your head is down, you are not seeing stars. You are seeing the dust on the ground. Because on those times, Abraham was walking in the places of dust. Abraham was living in a tent with a floor of dust. All he see when he was looking down is dust. Friends, you might be waiting for a great breakthrough. You might be waiting and waiting for great results. But you face setbacks after setbacks, illness, broken relationships, broken promises. And you are saying that, what is a hope for me? How can I trust God? How I can believe in His promise? And devil will come to you and say that you cannot believe in God. Look, how can He love you? Look what is your situation. Abraham was looking at dust, not the stars in the sky, not the blue sky, not the breeze, not the clouds, not the fruits on the tree. He was looking at the dust. And God came to him and said that, Abraham, what you are looking? You're looking at dust? Well, now let's count. Can you count the particles in the dust? Dust is not sand. Dust has no value. Dust has no value. It is a dust. And God says that you are looking at the dust. I will give you as many as children. If you can count the particles, not the grains. Sand has grain. Dust has particles. It is so fine dust. You blow and it get blow away. God says that, are you looking at dust? I'll give you as many children as this dust you are looking at. And after God told him about the dust, what happened? He waited another 14 years. At age 86, he got Ishmael, and now he's about 100 years old, and he's got his son. He got his son. And when he had Ishmael at age 86, he said, God, I'm okay. I'm okay with Ishmael. Let him live. And you might be in the same situation. You say, God, all right, I did not get what I was expecting. I can settle what I have. I'm okay with whatever you have given me. I'm not complaining. But when you say to that God, you have some sadness. You have some sadness because you are counting on some promise. And God is saying that I have not forgotten you. I will give you Isaac. Believe in me. I will give you Isaac, the promised son. And he did got the Isaac. There is a beautiful verse written in Genesis 26:5. I wanted to read it to you. Because God says to Isaac, because Abraham obeyed me and did everything I required of him, keeping my commands, my decrees, and my instructions. God is giving a testimony about Abraham that he obeyed me, he did everything I required of him, he kept my commands, my decrees, and my instructions. Did he? You know story, when he left Haran, there was a famine and he went to Egypt. God did not tell him to go to Egypt. He told Pharaoh, Sarah is my sister. He lied. God did not tell him to lie. He took Lot with him. God did not tell him to take Lot. God said that leave everyone and leave and go to Canaan. He took Lot. When he took Lot, he did not obey God's instructions. When he lied, he did not obey God. When he went to Egypt, he did not do everything what God told him to do. Then why God is saying that in Genesis 26:5, because Abraham obeyed me and did everything I required of him, keeping my commands, my decrees, and my instructions. Why? Because Abraham was living in time of grace. There was no law was given until that time. And God, in his grace and in his mercy, never remembers what people, his children, do wrong. He will never withhold his blessings, his promise from his children. And when Jesus Christ died on the cross, the time of law ended. The time of law started when people demanded a law from Moses on Mount Sinai. That time, the time of grace ended. And the time of law started. And it ended again when Jesus died on the cross. So we are back to the same time was Abraham was living. We are living under grace. Because through Jesus Christ, we are living under grace. And since we are living under grace, God is not angry with us. God does not remember what we did wrong, how much lied we committed, how many wrong things we committed, how many wrong places we went. We are not supposed to go there. God does not remember. God remembers only one thing, that we are righteous, we are holy, we are acceptable in God's eyes, because 1 John 4:17 says, as he is, so are we in this world. You are blessed, you are holy, you are righteous. Your promises, your blessings will never go away. Whatever God has given you, don't settle for less. And even if you have tried to settle for less, even if you said, God, I'm okay with Ishmael, God says, no. I told you, I'll give you new relationships. I'll give you new spouse. I'll give you children. I'll give you new job. I'll give you new health. I'll give you whatever you want, because you are my children. You are my son. You are my daughter. I will keep your dreams alive. God is able to do miracles. He's a God of miracles. He's God of mercy. He's God of grace. And he will keep his part, because He is a God of covenant, not a contract. And you are children of Most High God. He loves you, He cares for you. God bless you, and thank you.